Welcome to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast, your guide to future tech trends and innovation in a language you understand. Now, over to your host, Neil Hughes.
Welcome back to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. It seems that every day at the moment I'm reading stories about how technologies such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, automation, and an army of robots are all coming to take away our jobs. And yes, we've all heard the scary stories again and again and again. But I suspect, like me, you're more interested in solutions than sensationalised problems. So when I recently came across a guy called Mario, who's actually helping people embrace technology and become a part of the technological revolution, rather than get replaced by it, I had to get him on the show today. Mario has 25 years of experience as a global sales trader for 4 major banks, and as a successful professional in the corporate world for nearly 25 years, he quickly found that his passion had been stripped away by automation and technology. So after years of sacrifice and soul-searching, coupled with endless research, he actually went out and discovered his true passion in life. And awakening individuals who are unaware of how quickly technology can replace them if they don't embrace it. But enough from me. Buckle up and hold on tight so I can beam your ears all the way to New Jersey so we can speak with Mario about his fantastic and inspirational story. So a massive warm welcome to the show, Mario. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
Yes, absolutely. I am a veteran of the corporate world, we will say, specifically the financial industry. And after I would say a wonderful 23-year run, automation and technology came and really stripped me of my passion. And when I say I worked for the corporate world, it was very entrepreneurial, and that's why I really had a lot of passion. I was able to deliver a lot of value to my clients. But when automation and technology came along, it really stripped away our passion. It kept us from doing the things that we were really able to do to bring a lot of value, to be creative, to be imaginative, to keep ourselves ahead of the game. And it was a dark 5 years. I had to go and search for a new passion. And when I started studying information and technology and really how rapidly it was moving and how at risk people were, those who were very unawakened to what's going on in the world, my passion was to awaken people. And that's how I got to where I am today. I'm on a journey, and I'm probably on the greatest journey I've ever been on.
Fantastic. And I'm glad you came on today because I really wanted to share that story and that journey that you've been on, because after 23 years of experience as a global sales trader for 4 major banks and a successful professional in the corporate world, you had your passion stripped away by automation and technology, like you just said. But this is a very personal story that I think is going to resonate with most people listening, wherever they're located in the world, because it's everybody's worst fear. So can you just walk me through what happened?
Yeah, so one day I walked in, our global desk was up 27% year over year. It was bonus time, and I walked in to find out what my team was getting. And for the first time in my career, they said there will be no bonuses paid. And if you know anything about global sales trading, these traders, these sales individuals, they rely on their bonuses, not their salary. That's how they're paid. They're compensated because it's how much they produce. When this hit, delivering this message to a lot of to my team, not everybody lived like me. I was a bit more conservative with my money. I really didn't like to have a lot of debt, but there were a lot of shocked faces. And I told them this is going to continue. We are seeing something that is going to affect other industries. And, as I was going through my research, one of the things I was pointing out before I made the transition to another part of my field, as I was building out my new business on the side, and that's something that people have to be really aware of. Get your side hustle together now. And as I was discussing this, I said, guys, it's going to affect a lot of different industries. And wouldn't you know it, as everybody saw me as a conspiracy theorist, look at what has happened with the retail industry and with Amazon. It's just amazing because if companies can be consumed by technology, think of how many hundreds of thousands, millions of people are going to be affected when those businesses no longer exist. You look at Toys R Us. I mean, I'm 52 years old. I grew up in the world. I was a Toys R Us kid. All of a sudden, you see the mistakes. Some of these companies make, like Sears. But it's not just the retail. It could be any industry to become automated. I've heard stories. People in the beverage industry, 2,200 employees. All of a sudden, they build this huge 700,000 square foot facility, and they're literally plugging everything into a computer, and these machines are doing it. And they're going from 2,200 employees to 4 employees, and 2 of them are simply inputting the code into the machines. So it's something people really have to wake up and really be aware of, because if it's not technology replacing you, it's also going to hurt your wages. It's going to bring wages down. And if you see how unemployment is today, you can't even fill the jobs that are out there. But the problem is that wage increases are not taking place. So that's why I really want people to really get their head around this and to awaken themselves to embrace technology before it replaces them.
And it's such a great point. I mean, I read a great stat recently that I think it's over half of the Fortune 500 companies that were here in 2000 no longer exist. And I think we're all guilty of assuming our lives will always be the same and often fail just to expect the unexpected. But what I love about your story is how you turned a negative into a positive. So can you tell me more about how you're now helping people embrace technology and become a part of the technological revolution rather than just get replaced by it?
I'm actually writing a book, but I've also been coaching people. To give you one example, the roadblock that most people have, and I had it when I lost my passion. You know what, Neil? I'm not going to sit here and say overnight I changed my mindset. That's not what happened. I went through a very dark period. It wasn't until I looked in the mirror and I called myself a victim. I'm like, whoa, that's not who you are. You are not a victim. I realized I was responsible. My responsibility. Wall Street did nothing wrong to me. They're looking at the bottom line. They did nothing wrong. It's my responsibility to turn it around. And what I find is the people that I talk to, they're in such a comfort zone. They're so complacent. They're unwilling to take risks. And, I'm sitting and I'm coaching this young lady, and she was in a specific field, but the area of that field she was very unhappy with. She wanted to move to a new firm where they practice something else. And I said to her, well, what is stopping you? And she said, I'd have to take a pay cut. And I said, so you're willing to stay miserable because you're unable to adapt and make a change? I said, let's talk through this then. Do you own any equity? And this is a single young lady. And she said, yes, I actually own it. I own a townhouse. I said, how much equity do you have in there? She said, I have $80,000. I said, well, if this is truly something that's burning in your belly to make this life transformation, would you be willing to get out of your comfort zone, sell your townhouse, take that $80,000 in equity, go rent an apartment, and go after your dream job? Lo and behold, after looking at me like a deer in headlights, it was only 3 months later that she sold her condominium. She rented a place in a city-type atmosphere. She was in the suburbs renting a townhome, so it was hard to network. And lo and behold, she gets her dream job. Now she's networking with people in this awesome city, and she ended up meeting the person of her dreams. And so it goes to show you that once you start taking chances, once you embrace the struggle, and you see that struggle is going to get you to the next point you want to be in your life, things change, and things change to your advantage, because there is nothing more. To me, I fear nothing more now than the comfort zone, and I want people to understand that.
And I also read that you enjoy helping people just shift that mindset and embrace fear and obstacles to create their own path to their version of happiness, like you just mentioned there, and ultimately exposing the lies that society and media have created. But can you expand on that and why it's so important to you?
Yeah, because we've been so programmed, Neil. We've been manipulated into believing you have to drive this car. You have to wear these clothes. This will make you feel better. You hear the gurus out there. Look in the mirror and tell yourself you're wonderful, you're beautiful. I'm not going to do that to people, especially if I've never met them. I'm not going to tell them they're beautiful. They have to know they're beautiful. You have to understand it. People are born with motivation, yet we're told, go to school, go to college, get married, have 2.5 kids with a white picket fence. It's all baloney, Neil. What people should be looking for is building freedom first. How do you people think of money as the root of all freedom. That's not true. That's a byproduct. Freedom is living on your terms. Freedom is making your decisions and understanding that the choices you make are going to get you to where you want to be. If you start making choices based on what other people are telling you, what society's telling you, what marketers are telling you, what advertisers are telling you, what the news, the most toxic thing in the world, if I can give any advice, shut the news off. People have to stop listening to society. They have to stop looking at their Instagram and thinking everybody's life is so wonderful. It's all a sham. It's a show. So stop being manipulated and start making decisions based on what your passion is. Neil, I said everybody's born with motivation for one reason. I don't like motivating people. I like inspiring people to act on their motivation. And when I say everybody is born with motivation, if somebody was running after you right now, Neil, with a knife, what would you do?
I'd get the hell out of there.
Yeah. Well, that's because you're motivated to run.
Yeah.
Now, where society distorted the word motivation, think about an educator, think about a parent. When we were younger, even if we did something wrong, what would they say? What motivated you to do that?
Yeah.
So they distorted the entire word. So it's inspiring it's being inspired to act on that motivation, because nothing comes without action. And that's what I really want to awaken people to. They have to stop believing that things are just going to get better and society is going to take care of them. No one's coming to save you but yourself. You are the only person who can get yourself to where you want to be.
So if somebody's listening to us now anywhere in the world and they're at their corporate 9-to-5 job, staring at a screen with this podcast minimized in their browsers, staring at a spreadsheet, and your words are really resonating with them, where should they begin to change that mindset? I mean, do you have any client stories that could just help people listening visualize what they can do?
Yeah. I mean, this comes from my own experience. Find out what it is you're passionate about. Look, I've had people start online businesses on the side. They work 2 hours a night when they got home rather than streaming Netflix, rather than sitting, on their couch and, dwelling. I mean, telling themselves the same stories. Tell yourself a different story. Envision a different future. What is it you want? So as you're working that 9-to-5, and I'm not telling people leave your 9-to-5 job and, have no income, do it on the side. And all of a sudden, that 9-to-5 job becomes a supplement. And look, I'm still going to do my work. I have a responsibility, but look forward to getting home. Work out, spend 2 hours a night building an online business, whatever it is you're passionate about. I mean, I've had people start businesses. They're hunters. They started a what's like a Bass Pro Shop online. They're happier than they can ever be. I have someone who knows people overseas, and they started a Shopify store. And now they have all the freedom in the world because they know that they have that supplemental income and they're getting multiple streams of income. They're not relying on somebody coming to them and saying, hey, we don't need you anymore. Or, hey, you can't take a vacation. Or I don't care if you're sick. You must be in here every single day. It's that type of attitude and mindset. You have to shift it and say, I can do this and I'm willing to put in the time. If you're not willing to put in the time, you're not willing to put in the effort, no one can help you.
And on the flip side of that coin, of course, we've got the businesses that also need to change. I mean, you've mentioned the Toys R Us example, which is perfect there. And I've seen entire corporations crippled by resistance to change and technological change. So what is the secret to helping people embrace fear and turn pain into power and take risks? And that could be just a person, or it could be an entire business too.
Well, the businesses that made the mistakes, they made the mistakes because they felt that their brand was more powerful than technology.
Yeah.
Now they're finding out that that is not the case, because Amazon is the brand of retail. So that's the overall umbrella. What Toys R Us did, they said, oh, you know what? Let's make it easier. Rather than spending the time and the resources on investing in developing better technology, let's just outsource all of our toys to Amazon. And what does Amazon do? Amazon then becomes Toys R Us, but Toys R Us does not realize that. But here's the real key to it, and about embracing the struggle, turning pain into power. So when I was going through my nightmare of 4 years, I realized that all of this energy I had, I could keep it and I could suffer and see pain as a negative. It was when I saw pain as a positive. And I started researching pain. I started researching struggles. I started looking at different entrepreneurs. What did they do? These people went through hell and loved it because they had a purpose. They had a passion. They had an end goal on a journey. Every single one of us, I don't care if you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, you can get on that journey right now. But it's up to you to flip your mindset to say, you know what? Life is not easy. I don't want it to be easy because that's boring. And people who want an easy life, they're walking around alive, but they are dead inside. I want to see people who are, they'll wake up every day and say, I know I'm going to face struggles. I know I'm going to face obstacles. Bring them on, because the more they come and the more I crush them, the more I defeat those obstacles, and I keep going without being deterred, that journey then becomes something special. And you realize that that pain that you are experiencing, those obstacles and those struggles that you are constantly facing, they're making you more powerful. But if you allow that pain to take control of you, then that pain is going to continue to make you weak. And I always use my catchphrase, ba-bam. I've been using it since I was a little kid. And now I've used that as my own little superpower. When something comes my way, good or bad, if I see something great happens, I yell ba-bam. If all of a sudden an obstacle comes my way, I say ba-bam, because I want the superhero on myself to come out knowing that I am going to conquer it, defeat it, move forward, and stay on my journey and never allow anything to take me off that journey for the rest of my life. Another key, Neil, I said to one of my mentors a little over a year ago, we were at a mastermind in Florida. He said, what is your true goal? I said, my true goal is to live forever. He said, how are you going to do that? I said, simple, you die happy. And not a lot of people die happy. They die with regret. Regret is horrible. Stop looking back and saying, I wish I did this, I wish I did that. Start doing it now.
And a question I've got to ask, because I'm quite curious here. I mean, it was technology that put you on this path. So it'd be very easy for you to just hate anything related to technology. So how are you now leveraging technology to actually work in your favor and excel your own business and swim with the tide of change rather than against it?
Oh, my God. It's the greatest thing. Think about what you just said to me. Technology took my passion away, and technology gave me my passion back. Why? Because I shifted my mindset. I went out there. I branded myself. People know me on all social media sites as the Babam guy. I could walk through a convention of 4,000 people, which I did do. They see my name, Mario Arace, on my name tag on my lanyard, and like, hey, you're the Babam guy. You have to just put in the effort. You have to go out there. You have to find it. So I found that I had a passion for coaching people to change their mindset. I went out there. I let people know. I started talking about it. The more content you put out there, the more things that you're passionate about that people see and they know you're passionate about, you're going to attract those people to you. They're going to come to you. But you have to differentiate yourself. And that's why I say, don't listen to the gurus. Don't listen to people who are just trying to make the quick buck and then, cash out and move on to something else. You want to learn from the people who truly are passionate about it and who truly do want to change the world. Because if you're not in this to make more and give more, if you're not in this to truly elevate other people, then you're not doing it for passion. You're simply doing it to try to change your own situation. The only way you can change your own situation, Neil, is to be able to change others and elevate others on your journey.
So for anyone listening to this conversation on their way to the office or during that long, hellish commute thinking, this could actually happen to me, what kind of advice would you offer those people listening?
Don't say can.
Yeah,
that's what I would offer them. It will happen to you if you execute on it. If you truly understand that where you are right now in your life, you don't want to be, you have the luxury Think about it. You have a gift. Unwrap it. You could make a change in this instant. You could shift your mindset to saying, I am going to go and study it. I'm going to go and research it. I'm going to read more books. Neil, I before this all happened to me, my passion was taken away from me. I didn't read many books. I would read blurbs. I would, I would follow certain people. Now I read a book a week. And why? Because it allows you to transform yourself. The more you understand, the more pain you see the successful people have gone through, and they've appreciated it and understood it. You're gonna want to follow that same type of path, but you're gonna want to put your own identity to it. Look at people, for instance, like Elon Musk. Let's take Elon Musk for 1 second. When he was building PayPal, he did a lot of struggle. He was sleeping in YMCAs. He was doing all kinds of stuff. However, when he was paid net for selling PayPal, he was paid $180 million net. Now, imagine getting that deposit into your bank account. Most people would be like, oh, like winning the lottery, right?
Yeah.
Elon Musk said, I'm on a journey. I have a passion. So he takes $100 million and invests it in Tesla, takes $60 million and invests it in Solar City, takes $20 million and invests it in with his third company. So the whole $180 million he invests to expand his horizons and to change the world. And then he's borrowing money for rent. Now, if people listening to this understand that this was someone with $180 million, he wasn't even satisfied. He didn't change enough lives, was his reasoning behind it. So if you put that focus on it, someone out there wants to change your life. I want to change your life. Other people want to change your life. But if you put that as your mission and your journey to change other people's lives and to truly embrace technology and show people how to do it, you have a gift. You're offering them something. You now have a commodity that you could leverage to increase your future, but at the same time, change other people's future. And to me, that's so important.
Absolutely. And we've talked a lot about your past and about how you're helping people right now. But what does the future have in store for you, Mario? Is there anything else you can share with me today?
Well, I'm starting a podcast called The Babam Show. I do have a book coming out. I am also, I'm putting together, other businesses so I can show some of my students, how to do so. So my digital marketing agency that I bought into only a year ago, and I did that because, like I said, I want to make sure I stayed one step ahead of what automation and technology and society is really doing to affect people's lives. And then eventually, Neil, I want to get in front of as many people as possible. I mean, if I can be in a stadium with 100,000 people, I will engage with as many of those people as possible. And I will talk to them, and I will let them know the pain that I went through. I will let them know, it's being vulnerable. So if you could be vulnerable with yourself, you could be vulnerable with other people. Look, I lost a brother. I flew through a windshield, and my brother died in a car accident. I flew through the windshield. I was 15 and a half years old at the time. He was 17. I didn't allow that to. I could have went two ways in my life, Neil. I could have just made up an excuse and lived a whatever life, but I didn't. Instead, I chose to live with electricity that was coming from my brother because I knew he was such a powerful force. Then the things I went through, again, it's things are going to happen. It's how you react to them. With every action comes a reaction, and your reaction is going to dictate where that is going to take you. And I want people to react differently. 99, and this is not even, I could tell you now from the people I've spoken to, 99% of the people walking around today simply believe what society tells them. They do not listen to their own voice because it's not coming from their heart. It's not coming from their gut. It's not coming from their soul. It's coming from outside sources. And once you shut that noise off, people, please shut off the noise. Go sit in a quiet place. Find out where you want to be a year from now. Because if you don't, a year from now, you're going to be in the same place you're in right now. And that really breaks my heart because I did it. I did it for 4 years and I was constantly in the same place, I got so fed up. I finally had to make that change on my own. No one came to save me. I did it on my own. And that's what I want people to do.
Such a powerful story, and your passion really, really comes across. So for anyone listening that wants to find out more information, where can they find you online and maybe even contact you if they've got any questions?
Yeah, they can find me on Facebook, Mario Arace. They can find me on Instagram. It's babam_inspiration. But you could also just look it up under Mario Arace. You can go to marioarace.com or eastmainco.com, which is my digital marketing agency. And if there is anybody who wants to get their passion out, I would be more than happy to help them, because, like I said, this is what I'm doing. This is my journey, and I'll be on this journey for the rest of my life, Neil.
And it really has been an incredible journey. And you've got such a strong character. You've had a lot of negative experiences, but I love how you've turned them into a positive. And more than anything, I just love how you've come on this show today to share those experiences. And, you know, there's people listening to this show in 165 different countries, and someone somewhere was going to be listening to this, maybe not today, maybe not next week, even in a year from now, and those words are going to resonate with them. And that's incredibly powerful.
Absolutely. And, you know, like I said, one person at a time, we can change the world, because that person is going to spread it to someone else, and it becomes a ripple effect. And then all of a sudden, people want to help people, and they're constantly helping people. Instead of living in such a divisive world where everybody is, you know, arguing and listening to our politicians and listening to the news and all the negativity that they love to spread for their agenda, we are going to shut that noise off. We're going to move forward, and we are going to be more powerful than we ever were, because it's going to come from passion.
And all I can say to that, Mario, is babam. Thank you so much for coming on.
Neil, it's been such a pleasure. I really appreciate it.
I love how Mario turned a negative into a positive, and how he now actually wants to help people shift their mindset to embrace fear and obstacles and create their own path to their version of happiness. And how he also exposed the lies that society and media have created. And at a time where everyone thought he was wearing a tinfoil hat and he was some kind of conspiracy theorist, he's actually been proved right. And I do love hearing about very personal stories like this, and how all of his corporate experience actually gives him this unique take on the message that he's delivering. And I salute him for inspiring those who are unable to change their thinking towards making choices that actually result in happiness and success. So I thank Mario for the opportunity and gaining further insight into embracing fear, turning pain into power, taking risks, ignoring uninvited opinions, and that new world order and the rapid advancement of technology. But hey, what did you think? Do you fear for your uncertain future? And do you think your job role could disappear in the next 5 years? And are you building a plan B or a side gig? I'd love to hear your personal story on this. So please email me, techblogwriter@outlook.com, tweet me at Neil C. Hughes, and Instagram is the same name as well. And maybe, just maybe, we can all focus on solutions, not problems together. And on that cheesy note, I'm going to pack my bag and get on a plane to Vegas to cover the Adobe Summit. And I'll see you all on the other side. So thanks for listening. And until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thanks for listening to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Until next time, remember, technology is best when it brings people together.